Hey, glad you're still here. I'm Rand Wise. And if you are enjoying my vibe, please like and subscribe. And here we go. Chapter 11, December 2nd, 1982. The day arrived. Smoke had ordered a limo for the group, but Kim insisted on driving them down to Richmond because Deeja's father did not agree with that mode of transportation. Besides, an adult parent should be accompanying the children. Smoke was not happy when he found out the girl's father had run interference. He needed every reason possible to siphon more money out of the group, and paying for a limo would increase the amount they would owe him. He had planned on inflating the cost of that limo anyway. The group was excited as they piled into Kim's van and headed to the record studio before they followed Yolanda's tour bus down to Richmond. Sahir had paid for 2 hotel rooms, one for his wife and child, and the other for the boys. They were totally covered on all costs now. Yeah, we finally get to meet First Delegation, Deeja said. She had all of their albums and was a big fan of Yolanda Preston Davis. I know, and Tawanda is fine, yo. Tuck said. Yeah, but I heard she going with L. Wicks, Romy said. And Supreme cut in and said, Nah, wait a minute, hold on. You mean that corny nigga? That corny Elwick? Oh, man, she's too fine for him. They were not much younger than First Delegation. At the time, Yolanda was 22, Cartier was 21, and Tawanda was 19. They had all attended Ballou and were from the Garfield district of the Southeast D.C. area on the east side of the Anacostia. They checked into the hotel first, got dinner, and headed back to the hotel to get change. Afterwards, they headed to the venue. The arena was packed. There did not seem to be a single seat left in the place. The kids grew excited. They had never performed for such a large crowd before. They did not see First Delegation before the show. Once the show was announced, the kids headed to the stage and performed their number and received much appreciation from the audience. Once the performance was done, they froze in place the way they had practiced before the music for First Delegation's first number started, and the group entered the stage. Once they entered, Yolanda said, Good evening, everyone! Good evening, Richmond! Give it up for Street Spin Syndicate from my own hometown of Washington, D.C. The teens left the stage and headed to their dressing room. Although nobody was changing, that was the only place they could chill and be safe. Security arena staff and staff from Preston Records headed up and down the corridors backstage. They could hear the music and the group singing on stage as they made their way back to the back room. Kim hugged her daughter and the guys as soon as they returned. That was so awesome. That was awesome, y'all. Thanks, Mom. Hey, listen. They brought y'all some chicken. Are y'all hungry? Yeah, Miss Kim, I'm starving. Whoa, I am starving. Well, all that exercising y'all do, I can see that. The kids dug in, grabbing chicken and biscuits from KFC. They sat down, ate, laughed, and talked until someone rapped on the door. Kim opened the door. Although the teens could not see who was at the door, they could hear, "Hey, there's a guy named Smoke. He says he knows y'all." Tuck got up, stood behind Kim. That's when he saw it was security. He looked at the others and said, "Hey, y'all, that guy Smoke is here." Romy wondered why he came down to Richmond. Smoke entered the room. Kim made sure the door stayed open and security did not leave. It was his job to make sure they were safe, though.
Hey, y'all. Good show. Good show. Y'all was awesome.
Smoke boasted with a big smile on his face. You was out there? Tuck asked.
Yeah, I got box seats. You didn't think I wouldn't come down and see you now, did you?
Well, we just did not expect you to come down and see us.
No, nothing is so important for me to come and watch y'all perform. I come to the shows in D.C. just coming to show support. Well, I'll see y'all back in D.C.
He said before leaving. Security made sure they were okay before he left. Kim shut the door. You know what? I don't like that guy. Kim knew he was instrumental in getting them booked, but when she spoke to Norman Preston, it was not Norman that spoke with Smoke. It was a guy named Johnny Hutchinson, one of Norman's managers who had met with Smoke. Norman claimed he did not know Smoke and had only met him briefly at Norman's club one night. Yeah, I don't like him either. Tuck said. Kim made a note that she would talk to her husband about what went down tonight. Chapter 12. 2 weeks later, Smoke pulled up at Preston Records. He and Woody stepped from the car.
Yo, you gotta leave the heat in the car. They got metal detectors. I thought I told you that before.
Oh man, my fault. He removed the gun from his belt and tossed it under the seat. They headed to the door and were buzzed in once they stated their purpose. They told the woman at the front door they were there to collect payments for Street Spin Syndicate. And your name is?
Thaddeus Wells.
Smoke said, giving the woman his government name. He hated people knowing his name was Thaddeus. Okay, sir. Hold on, please. She picked up the phone and called the accounting department. Then they heard her say, Mr. Thaddeus Wells is here to pick up payment for Street Spin Syndicate. You don't? Okay, hold on. She turned her attention back to Smoke and said, Sir, is there another name the payment could be under?
Okay, well, try Derek Roman.
He did not know the real names of Deej and Supreme. She spoke into the phone again and said, Derek Roman. They noticed, she furrowed her eyebrows before she said, "Okay, I'll let them know." She hung up the phone, turned her attention back to them, and said, "The finance director said Derek Roman will have to pick up his own check or his parents and show identification."
What? That wasn't the agreement.
"Sir, I don't know, but that's the way they do things here."
No, that's wrong. Can I speak with him?
The woman picked up the phone and told the director that Mr. Wells wanted to speak with her. A woman in her early 50s exited a secure door to the left and met them in the lobby. She approached them and said, "I'm Melinda Edwards. I'm finance director. Are you Mr. Wells?"
Yes, I am. And I think there's been some mix-up.
"I am aware of your complaint, but Mr. Wells, we do have to pay the person who did the work."
I'm the group's manager.
His voice echoed in the lobby, and he realized he had gotten loud. He usually maintained his cool, but this was his usual reaction whenever someone shafted him out of his dough. "I understand all that, but the payment was not put in your name. I'm sorry, sir. Who did you make the deal with, by the way?"
Mr. Preston.
"Then I am 101% sure that he made it clear to you
Actually, it was Johnny Hutchinson."
He noticed the woman stole a glance at the girl behind the desk, who twisted her mouth and looked away. He wondered what was going on here.
Do you mind if I speak with Norman Preston?
"Well, I can request. I think he is in the building." The woman headed back to her office. 10 minutes later, an armed guard appeared in the lobby. He approached Smoke and said, "Are you Mr. Wells?"
Yes, I am.
"Follow me, sir." When Woody attempted to follow them, the guard turned to him and said, "Just Mr. Wells. Just Mr. Wells."
I'll be okay, Woody.
Another guard entered the lobby from the elevator. They nodded at each other, and the guard took Smoke to Norman's office. Norman stood behind the desk and greeted Smoke. "Good evening, Mr. Wells. What can I do for you?"
Mr. Preston?
"Have a seat. I'm told you have some questions about a payment," Norman said as he took a seat.
Yes, I'm the manager of Street Spin Syndicate.
"Okay, well now let me stop you right there. Do you have a written contract or an agreement?"
No, but they know I'm their manager.
"Well, I understand all that, but unless you have some kind of contract stating that you are their manager, my obligation is to pay them individually and directly."
Wait a minute. How are you doing business? Now, Johnny Hutchinson says
"Sir,
that...
Johnny Hutchinson does not pay out. I do. Now, they perform on behalf of Preston Records for one of my groups. I have an agreement of their payment signed by their parents."
How did you end up doing that?
The birds. It's just that simple. Street Spin Syndicate has an agreement for performance with us. They were paid like you pay day workers for a one-off assignment, not perpetual. Smoke did not know the children had visited Norman and talked to him personally. He was fuming.
So, what about my payment? I'm the one who delivered the kids to your company.
"Well, now you see, sir, you and I did not have any contract or agreement, though."
So you just cheated me.
"I did not do anything, Mr. Wells. I paid the group that did the work."
You'll pay for this.
"Mr. Wells, perhaps you can do business in a more effective way, and I do not appreciate your threats." The door opened. One of the guards stepped in. "Is everything okay in here, Mr. Preston?" "Oh, yes, Sean. Mr. Wells was just now leaving." Smoke stood, shot Norman another dirty look before leaving, but Norman was not to be intimidated. He would never shaft the children that way. They had done the work. Their parents had signed a consent. How else was he supposed to handle it? He thought Smoke would have to reconsider making deals with Johnny Hutchinson. In fact, Norman was getting tired of Johnny and his stealth movements. Smoke was fuming by the time they got to the car. So, did he pay you? Woody asked.
No. And if I ever see that nigga on the street, I'm shooting him.
Then that means you gotta get your money from them kids.
Oh, I intend to. Don't worry about that. I intend to.
Each child was being paid $500 instead of $300, which is what Smoke had negotiated with Johnny. But he did not know Norman had thrown in another $200 because they had done such an amazing performance. The kids would not know until they received their payments what a reward Norman had given them. Chapter 13. The kids were told to come and collect their paychecks. Kim drove them over to Northeast. Once they realized how generous Norman Preston was with the payment, they were delighted. So we don't owe Smoke more money because we got paid more, right? Romy asked. Why should we? We agreed to give that nigga only $100 each. Supreme said. Then that's what you owe, Kim said as she glanced at Romy through the rearview mirror. And you do not need to tell him Norman threw in an extra either. That's your money. You earned it. You put your own self at risk dancing on stage. Thanks, Miss Kim. Well, I wasn't planning on giving him more than we agreed on anyway. He don't even deserve that, Tuck said. But Kim reminded him, pay him what you owe, Tuck. Well, Mom, it would be different if he asked for a third. Then we will owe him a third of the $500 instead of a third of the $300. That's true, sweetie. But he negotiated it that way, so that's on him. They arrived on their side of town. Kim had taken them to her bank and deposited the checks and pulled out $2,000 from her own account and divided that amongst the children. Romy was amazed that she could just pull out $2,000 from her account. He was thankful. He would be able to help his mom out now. The very next day, Smoke collected his money from each one of them. Because Deej did not live in Berry Farms, she trusted Romy to give him her portion of what was agreed upon. Once the black caddy pulled off, Tuck said, Yo, I don't know if we should do any more business with him. Although that gig did help pay bills in the house, Romy felt the same way. Now that we made the connections with Mr. Preston, we don't need Smoke to bridge that gap in the future. True that, Tuck said as they slapped hands. But we better be real careful. Smoke don't like to be caught. I ain't scared of that nigga. But I'm not saying be scared. I'm saying be smart. All I know is we need to get up out these projects. How we gonna do that without any money, Romy? Come on. Romy didn't know. None of them knew. But one thing was for sure. They were good enough to be successful. Chapter 15. The panorama room was filled. The manager of the building was almost afraid the fire department would show up, but everyone wanted to see Street Spin Syndicate and Electric 4-Force battle it out. This performance had no money involved. They just wanted to get together and battle for the fun of it. First, Electric 4-Force was the group from Northwest DC who wore black and gold. They even had custom-made Adidas that were black and gold. They had performed in New York, California, and Chicago. Street Spin Syndicate could only dream of that. How was it they got so many gigs in other areas was beyond Romy. Let's give it up for Electric 4-Force and Street Spin Syndicate. Now, me and my partner, Benner the Spinner, are glad you can make it out here this evening. So, first, let's give it up for Electric 4-Force. Yo! I know y'all feeling Electric 4-Force. All right now. So, next on the menu for tonight is Street Spin Syndicate, right here from Southeast DC. Give them a round of applause. The groups had gone for their final round. This time, all of Street Spin Syndicate breakdanced at the same time. Deej and Romy spun while Supreme and Tuck did the helicopter. The crowd got loud. Afterwards, the teams hugged and slapped hands. This is the way it was, being able to battle just for the fun of it. Money being involved in these battles were becoming more and more political, and street thugs like Smoke was capitalizing on it from all angles. Tuck nudged Supreme when he spotted Smoke at the rear of the room near the entrance. He could try to blend in all day long, but he stuck out amongst the crowd. Most people present were either parents, people from the neighborhood, and other young people. Smoke never looked like he belonged at these events. Echo took the stage. The band had already set up instruments, and it was time for her to perform her go-go song called T.O.O. Hey, y'all! I see y'all feeling good tonight. Y'all feeling good tonight? Alright now. Watch me work. Step, step, step with the crowd. Shout, shout, shout it out loud. Her song began. The audience was feeling Echo as she performed with the band behind her.
Ever being on too high. Bring it down to the ground too cold. Turn it up, burn it up too hot. Bring it down to the ground too cold. Turn it up, burn it up too hot.
Tuck wove his way through the room with the others following him. It was time they stood up to this man.
Sup, red rats?
Smoke bellowed. Tuck rolled his eyes and said, "Listen, man, this is an unpaid show."
Then that makes you stupid, performing for people for free.
There was a time when hip-hop performance was just fun, when they could dance, have battles, and dance-offs. When the money entered the question, some groups found themselves under tremendous pressure. They were children, for crying out loud. Listen, we don't want you to be our manager. We never did want you to be our manager. Tuck emphasized.
Well, then that's your loss. When things go wrong, don't come seeking me out. I ain't helping.
Yo, man, we was never checking for you, though, Romy said. Smoke's plan for them changed at that moment. What use were they to him now? The foursome left the building. Deej's mother was outside waiting on them. They all hopped into the van and left the parking lot.
Just groove, groove, groove. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up. Too hot, bring it down to the ground. Too cold, turn it up, burn it up.
Chapter 16, January 1983. The new year brought new aspirations for the group. Romy's mother returned to work. She landed a new job at the Census Bureau. Deej had traveled with her family to Chicago over the holidays. Her father spoke at several conventions at a couple of mosques. Tuck went down to South Carolina to visit his mother's family during the holiday break. Supreme had some family to come in from out of town. Everyone was busy with family traveling. The break from school was refreshing, but things picked up once they all returned. When Romy and Supreme went to lunch, Deej was in the cafeteria popping. The other two joined her, getting a reaction from the crowd of students.
I'm the cream of the crop, don't forget that. Breaking people off smooth like a Kit Kat. Living good and good up the East Coast. Coming down to the South and the West Coast. I'm the cream of the crop, don't forget that. Breaking people off smooth like a Kit Kat. Living good and good up the East Coast. Coming down to the South and the main host. CD, host of the Dirty South. Ching ching and bling bling from my sister's house. Smoke free, drug free, and not a drink up. And love said, ain't got stink up. Living right, doing right for a main cause. Life spiraled up and down, had to get involved. Making moves, trying to find out myself worth. Realizing that I had to put God first. Gain knowledge, live life now for the best. Cause the other crash dummies couldn't pass the test. Walk alone in my shoes is what I had to do. Blazed up from the fire like a fire crew. I'm the cream of the crop, don't forget that. Breaking people off smooth like a Kit Kat. Living good in the hood of the East Coast. Coming down to the South and the main host.
They all sat down to eat afterwards. Paula, as usual, joined them. Suddenly, they heard laughter from a group of kids. When they looked across the room, they spotted a few kids making fun of Data Dan and his band of nerds sitting at their table. Y'all, where we get our report card? Supreme asked. The 14th, Deej said. She already knew she was getting straight A's. That would be the only way to stay on the dance team. Yo, now, you know what? I ain't even looking forward to report cards, this advisory. Supreme said he was having a lot of issues in math. Man, I keep telling you to ask Data Dan for some help. Nah, Romy, I ain't doing all that. Yo, Deej, can you help me? What? Trig is hard enough. I can't be tutoring nobody. Once the bell rang for dismissal, they headed out and towards Martin Luther King Avenue. Kids in D.C. during that time did not typically ride school buses. They either rode the Metro bus or they walked to school. As they headed up 4th Street, they heard someone calling out to them. Romy! Romy! Cassius called out. I know y'all ain't gonna just ignore me now, are you? The 3 teens headed towards the man's car, and Tuck said, What you doing all the way over here, Cash Kane? My girlfriend lives over there on Horner Place. I was just leaving her house, and I saw y'all. How was y'all holiday? Mine was good. I went down South Carolina. Oh, word? My dad is from South Carolina. Where in South Carolina? It was like this town outside of Columbia. You ever heard of Lexington? Oh, okay. Well, my dad's from Charleston. But anyway, I got some news for y'all. Wait till you hear this. What? Right. They asked. So, the movie company, The Real Vision, is looking for talented dancers to audition for a new movie they putting out. I think it's called, Break Forward or something like that. What? Whoa, for real? Oh, okay. So, what kind of movie is this? So, check this. My nephew Andre got information from somebody. He's going up to audition next month. Y'all should go audition. Oh, man, this the kids grew excited and slapped hands. Wait a minute, hold up. So, if your nephew is auditioning, why are you telling us? Won't that lessen his chances? Tuck asked. Andre, his nephew, belonged to the group Pop and Lock Posse, a rival dance group from the Northeast D.C. area. Why not, Tuck? But look here, I love my nephew, but he's a pompous little punk. You see what I'm saying? He stole money from me over the holidays. Let that punk stay with me because he got into a fight with his dad, and that was the thanks I got. You feel me? Yeah, dang, that's messed up though, Cash. So, since he stole from me, here's the information right here. And who you need to contact from this paper right here. Cassius handed them a document in the style of a flyer. I want y'all to knock it out the box. But you will need original music. You can't use nothing from the industry or something that's already recorded by an artist or something. The guys were grateful. And on their way to the neighborhood, they discussed how to go about it. They would have to catch Deej up on the information later, though, because she was already home. Yeah, man. So, who can we ask to record a track for us, though? Supreme asked. Well, how about Benny's boys? What? You mean Benny from Lil Benny and the Masters? Come on, Rome. Yeah, why, man, Tuck? Why not? That's a fat chance. I'm telling y'all right now, that's a fat chance. So then, who else we gonna get? I mean, we ain't got too many chances. If many of them got a studio. Wait, whoa. Y'all know what? How about Echo and Bennett the Spinner? They got a studio. Yeah, but I wonder how much they would charge us. I don't know about that. I don't know either, Tuck, but you know what? We can all put our money together and figure something out.